Hello, welcome to Diplomatic Affairs. My name is Harriet Nate, and it's going to be yet another exciting edition of Diplomatic Affairs as we talk about Colombia. This time around, we will be talking about, in general, Colombia, the country. We want to get to know the people. We want to know the culture. We will also delve into the political landscape of Colombia, the economy, and some of the initiatives that are in place by the government to boost its economic activities when it comes to giving the people a better life. So all of that will be discussed on today's show as I get to spend some time with the beautiful ambassador of Colombia to Ghana, Her Excellency Claudia Tebay Quintero, who also doubles as the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps. It's a pleasure to have you on Diplomatic Affairs, Claudia.
Thank you so much. I feel very privileged to have this relationship with you, Harriet, my colleague, because we are both
journalists, yes.
And as we already decided with you, we are the ambassador of the journalists. So we are a double
journalist.
Yes, things together. And yes, this is a very important opportunity for us and for me to talk about Colombia, the country that I love, that is my passion, and that I want all of us to understand better. So I am ready to start talking about Colombia.
Colombia. We are excited and thank you very much once again for the opportunity to engage us. Diplomatic Affairs is the go-to place for anyone at all who is looking for information when it comes to diplomacy, international relations, foreign policy. And so we owe it a duty to the public to get them to know what is happening in terms of relations between Ghana and its development partners, and also to some extent touch on the various countries. That's why I was so happy when you said, Harriet, let's talk about Colombia. Let's educate and inform the general public and of course Africa and the world so they can get to understand Colombia and who Colombia really is as a country, you know, and the people. Claudia, you have been in this country serving as the representative of Colombia to Ghana for the past 8 years. Am I right?
Yes, you are right. I am running the 9th. So August, I will complete 9. Can you imagine?
And you are leaving us when you are done?
I think that it may be very possible that I'm closer to leaving than to making it longer, and it is precisely due to the political changes. I have been always with the good and blessed opportunity to represent my country continuously without changes that coincide with the political elections. So I have been 20 years. And every government of Colombia, it takes 4 years. A couple of them double to 8 years. So it means that I have been able to serve. And it doesn't, I don't know what is going on, but I have to be ready to understand that as a public servant, nothing belongs to me. It's an opportunity given to me
serve the people.
To serve. So that will happen. One of the good things that I can tell you about Colombia that make me proud and to represent my country is our democratic system. I believe, without doubt, what my actual president keeps saying, and all of us keep saying during the time, is one of the strongest democracies that exist. And this is a country that respects rule of law, that defends human rights, that wants to build peace, that works with the SDGs, also wishing to produce equity, equity in every sense of the word, and of course, actually we are talking so much about the women's and gender equity,
Right.
but Colombia is working for every equity to eradicate poverty, to give opportunities
To
of
women.
education to all, to empower women, to open new areas and possibilities. Also to reinsert ex-combatants to our democracy, to open spaces for health to people that usually don't have, open the pensions systems for those that usually are not allowed. So we have so much to say, but so many efforts. Mentioned, giving names of what we do is very easy, but doing doing the things and create realities is what cost commitment. And I believe that Colombians in general are committed. Our system is a committed, democracy is committed to democracy. And we have so many particularities because we are serious, committed people, but at the same time, we are friendly, open-minded, and happy people. And I always talk about that aspect of our
Commonalities.
yes, commonality between Colombia and Ghana. But also we have this other side. We really work hard and we really want our country. We believe that we have a great country.
You have a great country, you have solid democracy, you have the respect for the rule of law, human rights. You mentioned the women empowerment bits as well in your conversation. I know we will be delving deeper into that, but for now, let's talk about the country, Colombia. When we talk about Colombia, what is the symbol? What should come into one's mind when we mention Colombia as a country, as a sovereign state? What should come into one's mind?
I would say clearly is people committed to peace, committed to work democracy, and people committed with the sense of great country. We have gone through a process in which in the past, due to the fact of the drug trafficking and all these things,
right,
we were pointed out by the word as the bad guys.
Exactly.
And
cartels and all of that.
Has made a transformation, but this transformation is with commitment. This transformation is with hard work. This transformation is getting together the different society, the different parts of society. So government with private sector, government with academy. So this government with the less privileged people and the society, it is really, we are working for something that is difficult, but we are working for inclusion, security. And you can see it in many programs that the government has and has developed. Not this government, democracy. Colombia has done a lot, but this particular one in certain areas has done more than others, clearly. And so it is like we have changed a mindset, and we had the sense of being the bad treated, the bad seen, the bad image, and eventually we are now in the process that no, we know that we are great country, good people, able to big things. We are a medium-sized potency of a country. We cannot say that we are not out-minded, but certainly we have gained in ourselves. That's the most important thing, the conviction that we are advancing and that we are developing, that we are helping, that we are part of our own success, that we have important people, and that we can compete internationally with the people, that we can work internationally with the other countries, that we can be good partners, an important partner to work together. So that's what I think that you have, and at the same time, the happiest people over the planet can be the Colombians. So you have all this.
I believe that's by the fact that you are someone who is always happy and someone who is always positive, open-minded. So I do believe that Colombians are, one of the happiest, people in the world. Now, Your Excellency, you talked about the conviction for change, for transformation, the desire to change the bad image in the past when Colombia is mentioned, how people perceived Colombia, how people saw Colombia. You as a country, you as a government, you have worked so hard with time to change that image of Colombia. You are trying to erase the past and build a new Colombia. So Colombia is determined to present the new Colombia to the world. Now, in talking about the new Colombia in terms of transformation, in terms of growth, development, let's talk about the political landscape of Colombia.
Look, I can tell you this. This is a good question for today. Now, we are going having elections, and the parliamentary elections already took place, and it was interesting because
this was on the 13th of March, or when?
13th of March.
13th of March, yes. Right.
And we are going to have the
main elections, presidential elections
in May 29.
Right.
Hoping that in the first round the electors can choose the president.
A winner will emerge without having to go for a second round.
Yeah, no, we have to go in June for the second round.
If it
right. Doesn't mean, and then the change of government will take place in August 7. So, what I can tell you about these elections is that again it's a reconfirmation of the democratic spirit and their democratic commitment. So they were one of the elections where more people came out to show in the first parliamentary elections, not in the presidential, who they were choosing, how the proportions. And the good thing is that it occurred with peace, and the government itself created a couple of programs that is called Plan Democracy and Plan Agora. And
Plan Democracy
and Agora.
Okay. What does Agora mean?
Transparency.
All right.
Transparency and security for the electoral, for the voters, for the candidates, and transparency everywhere. So this was a program that was set and was successful, and we can say that the president said in these parliamentary elections have been one of the most voted ever by the Colombians. So it is also a participation. There are many candidates. This is also very good. So candidates from every side.
All right. How many political parties? It's a multi-political system.
Yes. So listen what happened. So they had the matrix, the political matrix of Colombia were liberal and conservative, and then at that time were communist. With time, communists were also a derivation of all the left, which is not communist necessarily, but I'm explaining to you the evolution. The Liberal Party had different centers, no? This president, the president of Colombia, actually he said that he's center.
Ivan Duque, President Ivan Duque.
Yeah, Ivan Duque said, His Excellency Ivan Duque says I am center.
No
Not
left,
center left,
no
not center right.
center.
Center. But there are all the different possibilities. And some people believe that the liberal may be going sometimes to the left, and some others believe that it goes
to the right.
The right. So the president has been called and placed by the left as the right. So it is everything is a matter of how you the perspective from when you see, and the other ones are the conservative. From these three matrix, all the movements have been created. We have more than 16 today.
16 political parties?
Yes, 16. So, like for example, I will tell. So, the decision was that so many candidates wouldn't be able to really help the voters to choose one. So, at the end, in order to be able to do something, they created alliances which are going to the presidential elections. So at the end, there are three alliances that are like collecting the different thoughts and the different votes. So we have one that is Centro Esperanza, is one alliance, and this is led by Sergio Fajardo. He was a mayor of Medellin. There is another one that is Equipo Colombia. It's another alliance that it is the one that has also Federico Gutierrez. Is another person from Medellin, but he represents a different trend, political trend, and he is more with what is called Centro Democrático.
Okay.
That it is also a representation of the president, I would say, would be that Equipo Colombia, and he decided not to postulate himself, but this is the political sector, the one of Equipo Colombia. Equipo Colombia, and its center is Federico Gutierrez, and it's the one that represents the party where it will be placed. So, and there is another one that is Gustavo Petro.
Okay.
That he is left.
Okay.
And his movement is called Colombia Humana, Human Colombia.
Okay.
I imagine. So, and his alliance with several others are called Historical Pact. Pacto. And the interesting thing is that they are choosing the ticket, vice president's candidate. So all of them have tried to do something special, except the one that represents this government. But so
Pedro is representing this.
Petro is the left, is the ex-combatant.
All right.
He was a guerrillero, but so he is like the opposition to the system actually, in the sense of the political parties oppositions, and he has been clearly opposition since day one of the presidency of this president. But his position and his candidate have clearly announced a different project, a different country project from what it is here. So the people, all the different parties have decided that the only way to have possibilities is through these alliances where the different parties that has more a common point of view created the different alliances. And these are the alliances that I just mentioned to you.
Let me get this clear from you. So His Excellency Ivan Duque is done with his term, right?
He is not going. He's not running.
So he's not running,
yes.
exactly. He did, how many terms did he do? Is it, what kind of
He
system?
could have been a new period, because actually the
Is it 2 terms?
Exactly, the
2 terms.
Constitution
Okay.
allows 2 terms.
Okay.
Before President Uribe was not allowed. So any president before President Uribe's time was not allowed to have a second term following the previous one. Maybe, but since President Uribe on, the presidents are allowed to have 2 consecutive terms.
Okay.
It means from 4th to 8th. President, His Excellency Ivan Duque decided not to go.
Okay, not to run.
Yes,
after his second term.
Yes.
Okay.
So the one.
So he is standing in. Who is the presidential candidate for his party now?
Oh, so that's what I was.
Okay.
All the names that I was giving to you.
Okay. All right.
Because there are so many names that I am just giving like the heads of each one and explaining to you what is going on. For example, the Equipo Colombia, coalition Equipo Colombia, is the one that would represent the trend of President Ivan Duque Marquez. So, but actually, they have the situation is the seconds, how they would strengthen or show their direction accordingly to the second, the vice president. So Petro chose as a second another ex-combatant, but from a different, so ELN. So Petro was M19, and her, but it's a woman, that, by the way, let me say, she's a woman that comes from also being an combatant, but very, very strong one. But let me tell you that the first vice president of Colombia ever elected is the actual Minister
of Foreign Affairs
of Colombia, that is the vice president
to His Excellency Ivan Duque. All right.
She represents political power.
I was coming to
and
that.
Gender.
Right.
Gender.
I see how passionate you were when you were talking about women empowerment.
Yes.
And it's a very interesting political twist in this context. You have the vice president who also serves as the Minister for Foreign Affairs.
Yes. How comes it? Yeah, I want to explain you how.
Exactly, that's very interesting.
She campaigned and she wanted to be clearly president at that time, but eventually she became the changes, the vice president, the ticket of my president today, of the president of Colombia today, and so she was elected by popular vote. She was not appointed. She was elected vice president. And then again it comes to the second situation. She has been only 6 months in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and she wanted to leave to make a campaign, but again she decided not to go and accompany the president, and the president had changes in the cabinet and offered her the
appointment
of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and she accepted. So she is super powerful, because imagine, Minister of Foreign Affairs, vice presidency, she has a lot of different issues. And she had another thing that I want to tell you, because I really admire her. She was first, she was the Deputy Minister of Trade and then Minister of Trade. She was the first Minister of Defense of Colombia.
So she has served in different capacities.
Yes, she has very clearly shown equity of women with men. For her, this is all history, you know. in the sense that everything that she has done is through intelligence, capacity, and decision. So she's a good example for Colombia as a leader of women, of what a woman can do.
Right.
So this is her. She, as a vice president, always the gender situation was given to the vice presidency. And she, as a woman, has become a leader that has done everything in Colombia and much more than she has participated internationally in many different strategies. She has developed in Colombia more and supported them. So she believed so much in the empowerment of women.
Other women.
Yes, and we give examples all the time of how the development is never the same in those societies where women participate more openly, clearly, and in larger amount. So it's a target. There is something that we have some capacities that helps in a great way our environment, our society. So this is something that she believes. So she helps for empowerment and judicial and third and equal rights. Colombia also has women in the parliament.
Do you have gender parity?
Yes, we don't have.
You haven't
yet
gender parity yet.
Gender parity, but listen,
But the numbers are encouraging.
The other day, I was reading something that I love. In 1958, I think it was, the first woman seated in the Parliament of Colombia gave a speech. Today, 2022, there are 86 women elected
in parliament.
In parliament. So they are going to sit in the new from August on.
What's the population of Colombia?
Population is 51 million inhabitants. So and this is important. It means still we are not with the parity. We have bicameral.
Okay.
So we have more in the Congress and less in the parliament.
Okay.
So, and the 86 are more are distributed in between the two.
So parliament and Congress.
Exactly. So in the whole system, I would wish to tell you exactly now, but it is 86. Well, I know that word that came in, and this is really a success. Also, another thing that I want to tell you in the parliament, there are 16 regions that were oppressed by the violence with the guerrilla and the regions.
16.
It's 16.
How many regions do you have in all?
22.
22 regions.
32, excuse me, 32.
32 regions.
32. Here, how many you have here?
16 now.
Okay, so 32. So what happened is the following. For the first time, the victims of the violence were given opportunities also to be part of the parliamentary thing. So in this moment, I don't have exactly how many of those are women or men of those, but I can tell you that the 16 regions got new places in the parliament. And this is important so that in Colombia, every minority and every sector of society shall be represented in the parliament. And this is something that is opening the opportunities to the whole group of representations of the different political system, little political parties, different points of view, different human experiences to be part of that parliament. This is pure democracy. And so this is those, I remember that we have so many problems but there is nothing best than democracy, even with the problems that we have. And I believe that this is true everywhere. Here in Ghana, I am one of defender of Ghana in many ways, but because I believe that even with the difficulties that you have and the differences, democracy is the major treasure that Ghana has and has to take care of it. I believe in it. I believe in it clearly. And I keep saying it is our common, the parallels. Somehow I feel that we have parallel systems and parallel effort even at different times. So one of the parallel efforts is to build that, to in the mindset of people, to make people understand that this is the best that we have. We cannot lose what we have in our hands, what we have in our capacity as individuals, because as individuals you can create new ways of thinking, create new poles of development. So you, in a democracy, you have a freedom that you won't ever find in other systems.
Let's talk about, since we talked about the foreign affairs minister,
yes,
and who also doubles as the vice president of the Republic of Colombia. Let's talk about Colombia's foreign policy.
Foreign relations? Okay, look. Colombia is a country that traditionally has believed in integration. So we have worked very much in the multilateral level and in the bilateral too, but there are two different matters that are work in each one of those levels, but integration. And even though we are a democratic country, and even though we have partners like the US, clearly for Colombia, and Colombia has expressed it, the US is the most important bilateral partner in many ways, because of values, because of trade, because friendship, because of solidarity, because of many reasons. US is our best bilateral partner. But we have every time more and more interest to really open the relations with so many different trends and countries, and within that effort is that Colombia arrived to Africa. And traditionally there were only 3 embassies in Colombia, placed in Africa. As I have explained to you in the previous opportunity, they were Egypt, Kenya, and South Africa. Now we have the West African countries from Ghana, and with each one of them bilaterally, and we have in the north Morocco, and we have Argelia. So all the continent is covered like this. So we have our foreign affairs ministry has 200 years of existence. So it means 200. It is beautiful. So we celebrated the 200 years independence, but more than independence is we are beyond the 200 years of independence, 200 years of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And so with this occasion, we are also strengthening more and more our international positions. Colombia is part of the OECD.
That's the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development.
Exactly. Thank you.
All right. I'm sure we've touched all the subjects that we wanted to discuss. Finally, what is your take, before we wrap up, what is your take on Russia's aggression on Ukraine?
Russia
Yes.
and Ukraine. Look, one of the positions that Colombia, you are giving me an opportunity before I tell you, but Colombia, as a most important partner of the U.S., appointed by ex-NATO, appointed by President of the United States in a recent visit of my President of Colombia to the state, is gave Colombia the opportunity to talk about the reinsertion plans and helping. Colombia is trying to help now to Ukraine and with the people that are living Ukraine and are without location. Colombia had without a place. It means they are receiving now the impact that certain countries know better, and it is immigration and displacement, poverty. So this is calling to solidarity. I believe that I am a Catholic, and I have to tell you another point of view. Last Friday, I attended a call of the Pope Francis, and that was here moved by the Vatican, the Holy See, and it was the consecration of both Russia and Ukraine to the Sacred Heart of Virgin Mary. And this was a very beautiful request, because it is to help for peace, in the call of the word for peace, the call of abandoning the big egos, and to really think more in humanity than in the power of NATO and the military and the defense things. I think that what Colombia as a country is interested is in always helping and help for peace. But Colombia has taken a clear position for Ukraine. It understands more the position of Ukraine than the position of Russia. So what we are for peace. We are for peace, for humanity. We are to defend the human values, the human life, and the human right to create our political systems, but without having to exterminate the others. You know. So I would say that clearly Colombia has in its mind the peace of the world, and in this case to help the Ukrainians that are emigrating forced and having difficulties.
We are wrapping up, Your Excellency. I would want to ask, what's the future for Colombia-Ghana relations?
Okay, this is a beautiful question. Thank you for giving. We can improve in every way. We can keep growing together. We can generate economic exchange, businesses, investment, tourism, cultural events more and more. We have done a lot, but we have to do deepen more and extend for the infinite. So I really believe that the next step, and I won't be happy until I reach that point too, that number one, we wish to have the president of Ghana visiting Colombia, and I really say it openly because it's an open interest to have his visit. It's important. He's a leader also, and in my own personal perspective, I really wish that happens. I need that. I wish to have that happen, and I believe that is important for the integration of the countries and of the regions. And secondly, clearly, we have to move businesses. And businesses, we are working on that. And I wish also, and I believe that we will be able to create something soon. But it has been a slower process because you have to create friendship between the people. You have to learn to see the other continent as a neighbor,
Right.
not as a far away friend. And I think that that's the problem. We have to see of Colombia and Ghana as close. We don't have to see that oceans in between.
People to
the
people
oceans
relations.
doesn't put us apart,
No,
but the ocean
it brings us
put us
together.
together. That kind of mindset we have to do. So I believe that we have a lot to do with good results. And I trust that that will be the future of Colombia and Ghana.
I can't wait to go to Colombia.
You are invited. You are invited. You can go with me when I go.
All right. Think you very much for
thank
the
you.
invitation. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your time. It's been a very fruitful conversation. I think we have touched on so many issues.
Almost everything.
Almost everything. And I am so grateful for your time. And it's always a pleasure having you on Diplomatic Affairs.
Thank you, Harriet.
One of these days, you'll be hosting the show
Thank
for
you
us.
from the Hartford.
All right, so this is where we wrap up on our conversation with the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps and also the Ambassador of Colombia to Ghana, Her Excellency Claudia Terbai Quintero, as we touched on many issues of importance, especially when it comes to Colombia as a country, as a sovereign state, the Republic of Colombia, and also the political landscape of Colombia, understanding the people and of course the dynamics of the country economically and democratically, and some of the beautiful initiatives that the president have introduced to boost the country's economy, and also touched on relations between Colombia and the Republic of Ghana. As you heard from Her Excellency, we've started something, but there is so much that we could do together, and therefore I think it's about time we move to the next stage of, you know, government to government relations and push further. She also mentioned that she would be very grateful if the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, could take a trip to Colombia to meet his counterparts for them to enhance or integrate relations between the two countries. My name is Harriet Nate, and this has been another great edition of Diplomatic Affairs on Pan-African Television. I look forward to seeing you same time next week. Enjoy the weekend.